I just finished watching Love is Blind. I'm so tired. Just wanted to get my thoughts out and be done with this shit because honestly, I didn't even realize all the mess that was happening behind the scenes this year. I wasn't as entrenched in all of the bullshit. They definitely did a better job of holding the contestants' feet to the fire. So, I mean, I guess we'll just get right into it. We start off at the finale with, of course, Nick and Vanessa with their corny jokes. One of the things that came up for me was, why is Cam and Lauren, why aren't they associated with Love is Blind? Like, I find that really weird, especially when Cam and Lauren are like the golden child couple. When you think of Love is Blind and the success stories, we think of Cam and Lauren. Contestants come through, Amy and Johnny. Amy looked great in her red sparkly dress. AD's makeup did not look good to me. AD's makeup was not makeuping. She was looking a little bit dull. We all saw her when she was in her natural state. She looked great, but with the makeup, she wasn't looking so nice, in my opinion. Get a montage. That'll be the word of this video. Montage of Amy and Johnny. Amy going to talk about, that's my man. There's, it looks like they're still close. They're still sharing, growing their bonds. Families are connecting. They wasted a good 5 minutes with that montage of the past couples, and it just throughout this reunion, I just kept thinking to myself, why are we getting follow-ups with all the previous seasons? Like, what is this? But then I thought about it again. It's like, okay, they don't have much. They don't have much of anything from this season, apart from Chelsea and Jeremy's train wreck, Jessica giving it to Jimmy, apart from AD and Clay's nonsense, apart from Amy and Johnny's connection, apart from Jeremy and Laura's shit cadoodle, including Sarah. Like, there's really not much to go off. So I guess that's why, but I didn't like that. I didn't like that. We could have gotten deeper into the couples and what's been going on for them rather than take all that time to go back and forth with the past couples. Nonetheless, we see Johnny, and when they showed her partner, I'm like, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? But it seems like she met her partner on the perfect match, and she's preggo. They're moving forward. She looked nice. She looked cute. One thing I noted, Jeremy was looking so depleted. He looked horrible. Was it just me? Or did y'all also see that? He looked like he had red bags under his eyes. He looked just pale in the face. He didn't look, he looked like he'd been going through it. We see that he's with Sarah Ann. They're fighting to stay together. It's like, what? Y'all know how I feel about fighting to be in a relationship, bruh. No, if I have to fight to be in this relationship with you, nah, F you. I'm gonna go be by myself and not fight. I don't need that stress. I definitely feel like they're fighting to stay together just to prove that they weren't wrong for their little moral blunder and how they navigated things. I mean, they both agreed that they were disrespectful in how they navigated. So to come there and justify yourselves while also admitting that you're wrong and you kind of were disrespectful in how you navigated things seems like a conflict of interest. And so, yeah. Asked about Jeremy's ex-fiance, asked why he lied about his location. And I mean, they did show that Laura, she was out of the country, wasn't able to be there with them on set, but she says Jeremy's not being forthright essentially with what he says. And I completely I completely believe her, cuz we see for ourselves Jeremy not being able to answer questions directly when what's her name, Vanessa, asked Jeremy why he lied about his location. He was stumbling and fumbling and bumbling over his answer, not having straight answers, going all over the place. He literally says, I didn't intentionally lie. What the fuck does that mean? You didn't intentionally lie. Okay, so you lie by accident. So Why are we trying to make a relationship work with somebody who lies by accident? No, he needs to go somewhere. Where do you expect to go in a relationship with somebody who unintentionally lies? That's nonsense to me. Absurd. And let's get the story straight, right? So, to be honest, they're both coming from different perspectives, but none of them are lying. Okay, I came home. I stayed downstairs, instantly heard you rumbling around upstairs, and went upstairs to tell you about it. And Laura's answer fits right in. She heard his car come in. She said that he stayed in the living room. So he came in, he didn't go upstairs, he stayed in the living room. When he did come up, she asked him about questions and he was stumbling around with his words. They're saying the same thing, but they're saying it from different perspectives. Jeremy thinks that I was talking to her about it, so I should get kudos for that. But Laura's like, no, your story didn't make sense. And be honest, all of us are sitting here like, Jeremy, that story doesn't make sense. We don't believe them. Sarah comes out talking about Laura calling her a pick me. Sarah Ann specifically hasn't grown, so she's not self aware. She is a pick me. What was the other one? I'm not a floozy that deals with engaged men. She is a pick me. A pick me is a person who seeks the validation of a potential partner over morality, because it's a moral code that we're going by about what's right and what's wrong. She's engaging in pick me behavior. How are you opening yourself up to being with a man who's engaged? That's pick me behavior, because this person is already involved somewhere. Is this appropriate or not? I wouldn't want a person like her in my friend circle, because there's certain lines that you're willing to cross. I think Nick checking with the other guys about Jeremy's story, and no one was vouching for Jeremy because the story sounds so absurd. Laura and Sarah Ann had a chat at the little bunker place that they went to, and I found that interesting because that would have been so great if they had showed it to us. Laura is a girl's girl. Because even at the end of it, she's still telling Sarah Ann, be careful, like, watch your back, because he's not who he says he was. That's a girl's girl. Apparently, Sarah Ann unfollowed all the girls. She got removed from the girl group. And that's why she's mad. Because why, honestly, why was Sarah Ann going off? If you got the man that you wanted, you're with Jeremy. She got the man at the expense of community and girlfriends, but she doesn't know how to be a girl's girl. If she did, she would understand why she's on the outs. And I love that, to be honest. I love that for the girls, that they've set a certain standard on how to navigate. I don't understand why Sarah Ann is having a meltdown. You got your man, be happy, but she's upset. Set standards for yourself, set standards for the people that you engage with. And if they don't live up to those standards, disconnect. I mean, I guess the issue is that we don't we don't all agree on the certain standards that everybody needs to uphold, but that's the next step for us as women, as a community, as whatever macrocosm and microcosm that we can identify, is to set those standards on how to navigate. To be honest, I appreciated Nick and Vanessa really sticking to getting Sarah and Jeremy to answer the questions. There was more pressure on Sarah compared to Jeremy. We already know they're lying, because remember, I already called this out. Sarah Ann said that they had left that evening, and then Jeremy said that they had left early in the morning. And those are two very different times. Laura came out to discuss bean dip. Like, she forcefully brought it up as a topic to discuss and apologizes again on camera, which is nice. They bring up Trevor. They talk about Trevor and his girlfriend. Trevor literally doesn't have words to express his thoughts. He was stumped. He said he had something to say, but it kind of just left him. And says he was not dating the girl officially, but they were close. I'm noticing a consistent thread here of women wanting to be in relationships and dudes giving out crumbs and scraps, but women still eating it up just to be in a relationship. We need to get ourselves together, ladies, honestly. Trevor admits being toxic. He says that he will connect with Chelsea if she needs any answers, but that's about it. And in my head, I'm like, what answers? What answers could she want? Chelsea, what did Chelsea say? Yeah, I appreciate you. Appreciate him for what? What are you? For the nothingness that he provides. And that's what I mean, watching this illuminate a lot of things that I see in the real world, like working as a mental health professional. And that would be my question to Chelsea. What are you appreciating about him? What answers can he give you? I'm not in it, so I don't understand. Trevor asked to leave, and I mean, as soon as he answers the questions, they excuse him. Then we move on to 80 and Clay, y'all. 80 says a lot of weeks went by without her speaking to him, and it's like, okay, girl. Oh, it took him a lot of weeks before I talked to him. Okay, but you still talked to him. So he still got what he wanted, which was talking to you. I don't know why she brought up that he waited a lot of weeks to talk to her. She looked emotional still, taking deep breaths, and they didn't say it, but from what I was getting, they're not together. Clay was asked if he regretted, and he does say he made a mistake. 80 didn't answer if she would date him again, which was weird, but she insinuated that she wouldn't. Clay says he would date her. We're not shocked. She's the only woman to make you feel like a man. You ain't been you ain't been a man before her. So you want to be one again, and you need her to make you feel like one because you're not. 80 says that she doesn't want to be Clay's mom respectfully. And I was like, yeah, you sure was going to be if he had said yes. Clay still maintains his father is a great dad. It's like, okay, keep lying to yourself. Remember how Clay said that he was watching the show and he's not that guy? He was referring to Brett. When Brett responds to Clay, Brett shares that his upbringing wasn't the best either, but he was able to lean into being good. That's what I got from it. Like this is the synopsis that I got from Brett. Kudos to Brett and Tiff. And again, I was just like, dang, like the fillers. I was not a fan of the fillers. Just let it be a 45-minute show with, the present cast and call it that. I think they were really trying to hammer home that, oh, Love is the Blind isn't that bad. Look at all these great couples that are still together. It's like, okay, out of how much? We can say 9 couples out of how many couples that made it out of the pods? Are we looking at less than 10%? So, okay, let's make sense of the numbers. For 6 seasons. And out of the 6 seasons, let's say they have 4 couples make it out of the pods. 4 times 6, 24. And you have 9 that have stayed together. What is that? What's the percentage on that? I'm going to say around 30% of the couples staying together. I mean, I guess that's okay. It's not 10%. Then we go back to Amy and Johnny. They're also traveling, enjoying each other. Says that they haven't had a fight. And I love this so much because I'm comparing it to Sarah and and Jeremy. That's what I'm gonna call him, Jeremy, because he's a germ. Amy and Johnny aren't fighting. They admit they have disagreements, but they're not fighting. They're not fighting for the love. In my head, that's how it should be. Why are we fighting for love? Meanwhile, you have Sarah and Mr. Chaos over there fighting for love because it shouldn't be. You're fighting because it's not supposed to happen for y'all. But okay, keep fighting. Somebody gonna win. And I think it's Jeremy. He's gonna win and then be on to the next. Jessica says Autumn hasn't watched all of the show. I mean, I was disinterested with the topics that they were talking about. I kind of wish that some of the filler scenes that they had focused more on the couples and their experience. Like, yeah, it's cool. Autumn hasn't watched the show, but could we have gotten more details about what happened with Britt and Kendall? Chelsea talks about the convo Laura and Jessica had, says that she felt sad about it. Jimmy says his friend didn't like that her secret was shared. He specifically notes that he doesn't get emotional with the guys, and that's our issue, people. We have a whole group of human beings that think emotions aren't valuable, and we see it in our world today. Anyways, I can always go on and on and on just talking about some of these topics. Chelsea and Jimmy, they still look like they they in a discontent relationship, even though they're not in a relationship. I didn't even get what's happening with them. So are they together? It was interesting that 80 shared the girls don't know Chelsea to be emotional. And I guess all her emotion comes up higgy haga jiggy jaga when she's in a relationship. Did they say she's in therapy? Did she say she's in therapy working on it? I hope so. Jessica says that she thought she and Jimmy were good, but Jimmy was out podcasting and talking shit like he always do. Jimmy Jermy, because he's about to turn into a germ as well. We see that Jessica's recollection of events is 100% while Jimmy is living in a false reality. Like, you literally made shit up. Your emotions got in the way. Meanwhile, it was an hour and a half, and then after that hour and a half, it was another 50 minutes, and y'all agreed to disconnect. Rather than saying that you don't want to disconnect, you agreed and then got upset and are now making up stories about what happened, which is unfair to Jessica, but it's like, we know the issue in the world is that people don't value caring and that people don't care. And if they do care, they don't know how to. They talk about Chelsea versus Megan Fox. We see Zach and Bliss and their baby shower, another filler from a couple from season 4. Alexa and Brandon, I forgot about them, but Alexa and Brandon from season 3. Alexa is pregnant, which is great for her. And I'm just like, why are these people here? Why are we going through their story? Alexa asks, why didn't they just do it to get the desire? And when she asked this question, to me, I was like, what a silly question. Well, why would you want to connect on a lower level to evaluate your relationship? And if that's how y'all are getting into relationships, that's why relationships are so shit. Y'all are basing it off of the wrong foundations. I love Brittany's response because she's absolutely correct. Sex should be a supplement. It should not be a reason why you want some. And if that is the reason why you want some, just know that your relationship is built on shaky ground. I don't understand that concept. And I don't want to understand, to be very honest, but that's good for y'all. I hope y'all have great relationships. My whole thing about it is if physical is the cause of the desire, then essentially you're saying the physical is what's, bringing the love. And if physical is bringing the love, then if there's no physical, doesn't that mean that there's no love there? And that's just how I reason about things. They're not in a relationship, but they are friends. And I think they were able to maintain a friendship because they didn't do anything physical. We move on to them providing receipts for Matthew. He did tell Amber and 80 the same thing. 80 was laughing the entire time. Clay's seat looked very serious and uptight while the scene was playing. Did y'all notice that? I did. 80 went out with Matthew and blurted out that Matthew is fine. She's obviously still on that shallow tip of the physicality. What does that matter that Matthew is fine? And I was also thinking, why would you even entertain Matthew with a date knowing the type of person he can be? I didn't understand that. And I don't want to understand that. Because if I understand that, that means let me not say that. Everybody's on their own journey for growth, learning a little bit more about themselves. As a person who's grown past that level, I wouldn't entertain somebody who has shown that they can be so duplicitous. We go into a little montage of Kwame and Chelsea from season 4. And again, why are they filling up so much time with these people from past seasons? And that was basically it. I mean, I was definitely underwhelmed. I had a lot of questions still. Like, are Jimmy and Chelsea still in a relationship? Did they confirm they're still in a relationship? I didn't catch that. Love is Blind 6. Whatever is happening at the macro level is happening at the micro level. And I know I'm kind of getting a little bit deep, but it's always that deep when you really think about things. Like, we're operating on such a low level as a global society, and that's why our world looks so crappy. Our world is missing care. It's missing emotions. We see it in every relationship that humans have with the environment, with animals, even with other people. When you have people who lack emotional intelligence, chaos is always afoot. Chaos is always a product of such bonds, unless you have two people that want to be in a relationship with no emotional connection. What is that type of relationship called? Leave it in the comments. The takeaways is that people with low emotional awareness don't have the range to think beyond their needs. We see this with Clay, with Chelsea, with Jeremy. And then you have people who do have the emotional wherewithal, but just choose to ignore it. We see this with Jeremy. Partnership requires consideration of your partner, and you only consider your partner when you care about them. We're all not perfect, but in the world we live in right now, where everything's on TV, you can learn about anything. Let me know if y'all agree. What we're missing in the world is care. In our world right now, people don't know how to care. People don't value care. People don't value emotions. At the end of the day, the takeaway from all of this is that we all need to do better. Because how has our society developed emotional terrorists? We see that with Chelsea, Jeremy, Sarah Ann to some degree, Clay, just adults that don't know how to function in partnership. Caring for yourself is, of course, important, but caring for your neighbor, caring for another person is also of importance. Hopefully, we'll get there sooner rather than later because the world's about to end and it's because we don't care. Hope everyone takes it easy. Bye.